Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So this is the narration of her story, and the narration, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a young woman who is currently staying here in South Africa. So I came here to South Africa. It was me and my friend. So when we came here to South Africa, I then started staying with my friend's big sister. So my friend's big sister, she knew this other South African lady who had opened up a small canteen, a small restaurant by the side of the road. So she had requested that my friend's sister must find some two girls that can help her in her small canteen since she was still starting. So that was when my friend's big sister spoke with my friend when we were still back home, and she said that we needed to come to South Africa as quickly as possible. At that time, me and my friend, we had been going around just trying to get a job, but we were not getting anything that was meaningful. And the other thing was that me and my friend, we had failed our O-level exams because we went to the same high school, and after sitting for our O-level exams, when the results came out, we had both failed. So there was nothing else that we could do. We could not go to college or anything. We tried hustling, but whatever that we tried, we kept on failing until this opportunity came. Then me and my best friend, we ended up being here in South Africa. When we came here to South Africa, that was when we started staying with my friend's elder sister. So in that location where we were staying, because of our age, most of the guys that come from Zim, when they would look at us immediately, they would say that they want us to become their wives. So I then said, these guys that keep on giving us all of this pressure, it is far much better for me to find only one amongst this guy that I will stay with. So currently I have someone that I am staying with, and I chose him amongst all those men that kept on giving me all of this unnecessary pressure. So before me and my best friend had came here to South Africa, whilst I was back home, because in the city, then my mom, whilst we were still back home in Zim, that was when my mom one day received a phone call that made me to be very angry, because this was my grandmother. All of a sudden, my grandmother, she now knew that I had this trip that I had planned going to South Africa. And like my friend had said that I do not want you to tell anyone that we are going to South Africa. Please just keep it as a secret. We will only tell people after we would have arrived safely in South Africa. After we would have gotten this job, that is when we will tell people, because you do not know who is going to wish us bad luck. And you know that this is going to be our first time being in South Africa, so we do not want any bad luck to follow us. So me and my mom and my siblings, we were keeping this as a secret. As to how my grandmother got to know about this, I do not even know at all. At that time, when my grandmother called, she then told my mom that she knew that I had this trip that I had planned going to South Africa. So she wanted me to come and visit her one last time before I would have traveled from Zim coming to South Africa. So I got so angry and I said I'm not going anywhere, because my friend had already told me that this woman who wanted to give us this job was no longer patient. She wanted to start her business as quickly as possible, and we were taking forever to come here to South Africa. So then my friend, when I told her that I was supposed to go to the village, my friend then said, at least when you go to the village, try to sleep only one night in the village, then please come back as quickly as possible. So I then agreed, after my mom had said that when you see an old person telling you to come and visit them, then this means that there is something important that they want to tell you, maybe even a blessing that they want to give you. So that was when I decided to go and visit my grandmother, but I never liked my grandmother anyway. So me and my grandmother, when So when I had arrived in the village, like the first night when I arrived in the village, my grandmother then said to me that she wanted me and her to go and visit one of her friends. So this friend of hers like stayed on the other side of the mountain. We then went there, but it was quite a very long journey that we had to take. But when we were walking like in the mountain, Brother Nashi, that was when I kept on seeing that my grandmother, she kept on looking behind us as if she was checking if there was anyone that was walking right behind us. And when I finally turned around to see what was going on, that was when I saw that there was a large number of hyenas that were following us. I got so scared, but my grandmother thought that I didn't see what I had seen. We kept on walking through the mountain, and then we went on the other side of the mountain, and we arrived at her friend's house, and she was already waiting for us. When we stepped into her compound, what she then said that we had to follow her at the back of her house. We followed her to the back of her house. That was when I saw that there was this other drum, those metallic drums. There was one that was behind. She opened it, and I saw that there were some leaves, and I figured it out that whenever they are cleaning their yard, what they do is that they pick up the leaves that would have fallen from the trees, then they just put it in that metallic drum, so maybe they will burn it later on. So Brother Nashi, this woman, she showed me this drum, but I then saw that inside this drum there was a python that was in there. And when I got so scared, that woman then told me that this python, it belonged to my own grandmother. So it seems as if my grandmother was unable to kind of like feed this python. So she wanted to give me this python that was inside that metallic drum, and I got so scared, Brother Nashi. From there on, that was when we returned back to my grandmother's compound, and she kept on telling me that she did not want me to go back to the city immediately. She wanted me to return the following morning. Then left the village, and I came here to South Africa, where I started to stay with my friend and her sister. And after I had started staying with my husband, the man that I am staying with, that was when I started to notice that I face a lot of challenges in my life. Whenever I go to church, if the person that will be assisting me, if it is a man, the man will try to sexually abuse me. If it is a woman, because when I saw that most of these men, they try to sexually abuse me, I then went to this other church where the prophet was a woman. So I went there thinking that she was actually going to assist me. But what surprised me, Brother Nashi, was that when this woman was praying for me, she then said, "You are still very young, and I see that you are very beautiful. But do you know that I have this other brother of mine?" She then said that this brother was in Pretoria. She said, "If you want, I can speak with my brother. Then you can become my sister-in-law, and you can become my brother's husband." But I got so angry because when I had gone to her home, all that I wanted was to get some assistance. But here she was trying to force me so that I can start to talk with her brother who was in Pretoria. That was when I stopped going to that church. Even right now, I do not even know which church to attend, because any man that I try to speak with, that man will try to take advantage of me sexually because of my age. The other thing that happens to me is that sometimes when I am just relaxing, I can feel that there will be a python that will be busy wrapping itself around my body. So I do not know how to make this thing to stop. I am tired. I do not want to become a witch, and I do not want to become a witch at all. But this is what happens to me at all the times. I do not know what am I supposed to do anymore. I have tried to pray. I have tried everything, but it does not help at all. If there is anyone who can assist me, Brother Nashi, you can be given their phone numbers, and I will try to communicate with them. And the other thing that I want to tell you is that if it is possible, ask your listeners if they can give me advice. Should I tell my husband that this is what happened between me and my grandmother? The reason as to why I never told him about this story, it is because I am afraid that one day he is going to say that I am a witch. If anything happens to him, maybe he will say that it is because of you, it is because you are a witch. This type of a confession, should I tell my husband or should I just remain quiet? I am scared and I am confused. I do not know what to do anymore. I know that my grandmother, she wants to give me her witchcraft. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. Just imagine that when you are just sitting, then you can feel that there will be a snake that will be coiling itself around your waist or around your body. Strange things do happen in this world.